Okay, so you need to start taking responsibility over your life. Why? Because even if you say it's not my fault, it's this guy's fault. Just like you're not mature enough, that's what the little kid says that he started it first. It doesn't matter who started it first. It's just that are you getting the loss or are you getting the profit? That's the thing is many times you have seen the kids fighting and you said the one kid says no, actually he started it first. Yeah, he started it first, but you continued it as well. Most of us try to run away from the responsibility and we want authority. But the authority, the power to control your life, to have the control over your life, to get your shit together, it all comes from responsibility. It's all linked. Let me explain this. Many people say how to take back control over your life. You have seen many of this type of videos title like how to take back control over your life, do this, do that. I'm not saying those videos are bad, but what this all comes down to at the end of the day is having the responsibility, knowing that you are the responsible for your own life, not the YouTuber, not me as a YouTuber. It is you who has to take the responsibility. Because if tomorrow you didn't become successful and you are a loser in your 30s with no kids, no marriage, no car, no house, no job, nothing, well, you may say that, well, my degree is bad, parents didn't supported me, the business failed, I tried this, but it didn't work out. But you have to be the one suffering the loss. Guess what? If you say it's because of your parents that you're not successful, many people say that, well, it's parents, genetics, and all that bullshit. Well, maybe it is true that, yeah, they didn't support you, is the reason why you are not at this level. But realize this it's your life, it's your responsibility. With great power comes great responsibilities, but it's the other way around as well. With the great responsibility comes great powers. What are the great powers, so called? In terms of the who said this, it was Spider Man. So, great power for him was spider power, the physical strength as a Spider Man. For us, it is money, status, and all the materialistic things. All of this comes from having the responsibility. If you think about the big kings and queens throughout the history who ruled greatly for hundreds of years, all the big civilizations, all of them had one thing in common in their kings is that the king always take the responsibility. The leader, if you want to think about the corporate leaders like CEO of Google, Amazon, Microsoft, the reason why they are leaders in the first place, why they have all this power is that they take responsibility. Now it's the responsibility of the company, but you need to take responsibility of your life if you want to be there at that high level. And once you start taking the responsibility over your life, you are no longer an addict because, quite frankly, the reason why people have the addiction is because they are not responsible for their life. They are blaming someone else. So, first thing you need to do is stop blaming the other people's. It was Abraham Lincoln who said that don't criticize, condemn, because under the same circumstances, you will be the same people. And we have this culture in the modern days where we blame other for our fault. How many times in video games, when were playing the video games, you said, it's not my fault, it's just that my PC is lagging. Well, it's not my fault that the internet connection just got cut off. Majority of time, it's your fault to begin with. And let's say if it's not your fault that you're in the scenario where your degree does not worth it and you are jobless and you have no skills. Even then, the college is not going to be the suffering loss. Your parents won't. Maybe they will because you are not making money. But the number one person who will suffer the most of the losses is you. So you just have to realize this. You are the one who's going to suffer because of all of this. You are the one who's going to struggle in all of this. And one more thing that it comes down to the fact that we don't blame ourselves. We just find the excuses to blame others. It all has to do with the ego. We think that we don't have the ego, and that's how you know if you have the ego or not. If you think you don't have the ego, that means you have the ego. If you think you have the ego, that means you have the humility plus ego. All of us have the ego. It's not that anyone doesn't have the ego. It just depends on what level of ego do you have and what kind of ego you have. The ego that is helpful in life is like the good cholesterol. Cholesterol is what makes testosterone, so you need the healthy amount of that. I have said this in the previous videos that the ego and cholesterol are kind of related. You need it, but you need it in a healthy amount and healthy quality, healthy type of ones. And majority of us have this bad type. Now I have to talk about the good ego in the previous videos on this channel. You can find that video. It will be something titled Ego. You can watch that after you are done watching this, but for now, think for yourself what responsibility you can take. And just look around your room. Is your room clean or not? If your room is not clean, then your mind is not clean. in the military, what they make you do is the reason why the militaries are so disciplined, and they are not heavy drug addicts. They may be drinking alcohol, but they can just quit the alcohol. There was one study where there were a bunch of soldiers who were addicted to heroin and cocaine and all types of drugs, mainly being heroin, mainly being weed. And when they go back to their home after the war is ended, they just quitted their addiction overnight. The reason why they were able to do that, well, one of them was that it's not easy to get the drugs in the normal cities. Yeah, it's one of them. But you think it would be that hard for a soldier to who's extremely intelligent in finding enemies to find drugs? Well, it won't be. The reason why is because they had the responsibility over their lives. They know that they are responsible for their family. They're responsible for their own lives, because on the battlefield you can't complain that, hey, my gun is lagging. It's that manufacturer faults who made this gun. That's the reason why I got shot. You'll die. You can't complain. So stop complaining is one more part. That stop blaming and stop complaining. Because the moment you stop complaining, what you start doing? You start figuring the shit out that how can I get this done? Even if your video game, your controller is your PC is lagging, you figure out what can I do then. Okay, I'm not complaining it. I'm not blaming whoever made this PC. I'm not blaming the internet, whoever the router guy is, whoever this is. I'm not blaming him. I'm not complaining. What can I do now to survive in this video game? What can I do? Well, one thing I can do is I can hide in this place and just look around till my PC is just recovered. That's one thing I can do in a video game. Let's say it was a video game. So you need to start figuring out the shit that what you can do and start taking action. Because the moment you start doing that, you don't need to watch majority of the YouTube videos, majority of the video about fixing your life. It's all linked. The moment you start taking responsibility, your life is already fixed. You don't need to watch these type of videos. For example, you don't watch if you are, let's say, someone who is advanced and in something, let's say gym, you don't need to watch the videos about the basic forms. You would want something advanced, right? It's the same thing. You need to clear the basics. In the basics for the gym are not the 10-20 different exercises for chest. It's just flat bench press, incline bench press. These are like the basics you need to clear. Deadlift, you need to be doing those, the basic important exercises like the basic foundation to be able to then advance. So even if you advance in those exercises like increasing the weight, because you don't need a 20 different exercises for your chest, obviously. But in here, the basics is in life is responsibility. And if you think about the movie 300, why we like the Leonidas? One of the reasons was he was the one who's taking responsibility. He was the one who's leading the chart. Or any of the movies where the main character is male, not a weak pussy, and he's a strong and he's a leader. In this type of movies, the reason, one of the main reasons why we like those characters is because they are taking responsibility over their lives, and it is linked in the real life, and it is the same thing that happens when you start taking responsibility. You fix your life and you attract other people in your life as well. It includes opposite gender and respect for the other man, because everyone loves the guy who can take responsibility, who can lead the charge, who can lead. Why? Because majority of the people are followers. Minority of the people are what you call an influencer, leader, manager, kings. Because in the war, in the army, there was one commander, maybe one of his assistant would be second, and the rest of the people were just soldiers following the chart, following the charge of the leader. And this is what start and taking responsibility makes you. It makes you a king in real life. So what can you do right now with this information? What is the first thing you should take responsibility about? It is number one, your room. You can actually hire someone to clean your room, or you can do it by yourself. But I recommend by doing yourself because it does something to your brain. There's a reason why in the military they can afford to have a cleaning services, but they still make their soldiers make their own bed. There's something it does here in the brain. I don't know what it will be called scientifically, but let me explain what it will be in my own words. It boosts your responsibility because you're responsible to make your own bed. Otherwise, when you come back after being tired, well, you'll have something to sleep on, something to be feel one less of a headache. That's one benefit that it has, but it just makes you more responsible in life. So start doing that, and next could be to wear clean clothes, to look in a certain way. From a gym to get the physical attractiveness, from a gym it will take years, but to get it from the clothes, Now you don't have to spend millions, not millions, sorry, thousands of dollars on clean, good-looking clothes. You can find a cheaper one. Just make sure it's 100% cotton and not the polyester garbage, because those are bad for the testosterone in general, and they actually smell bad as well. Because the sweat gets trapped with those clothes, so your sweat smells bad. We don't want that. So when you start doing these basic things, cleaning your room, your house, a clean house equals clean mind, a clean room equals clean mind. So when you start doing that, start wearing the clean clothes, people just assume that you are a certain type of guy because they don't know you. So they start respecting you and speaking to you in a certain way, which was which is what makes you more confident. This is the reason why it makes easy for winners to keep on winning and losers to keep on losing, because the winners who's been doing all of this are the royals. If you think about the royal family, they always were in the clean clothes, living in the clean environment. So they were getting more respect. You can tell that this guy is the king. The 10 guys wearing the same clothes, you could be able to tell which one is the king. And the reason being is because they had that level of charisma. The reason they had it is because they had slaves and workers working under them to clean up their clothes and everything. So you can try this today, that wear relatively good looking clothes that looks good on you. I'm not going to tell you that this fashion is popular to get you more popular with girls, or you have to figure that out. I hope you have that much of a common sense that this clothes will look good on me, or just go to the shop and try five, six of them and see which one looks good. Wear that good clothes, and what will that will do is you can see the experience this today. It will boost your confidence, and if it did boost your confidence, what you need to do next is clean the clothes and wear the clean clothes every day. There's a reason why you see all those politicians, all those big businessmen, they always wear the clean clothes. Now they wear the clothes like a cartoon characters, the same clothes every day. If you've seen them in the interviews on the social media, there's a certain reason for that, and one of the reasons is because it avoids the headache here. You don't have to think what I should wear today, because it's important. You need to portray yourself in a certain way on social media to get liked by the people. Politicians literally lose like a lot of the votes if they are wearing the low quality, not the low quality clothes, but not the clean clothes, the type of the clothes that gets people into thinking that this guy has a good representation, so we should vote him. And it's real. Politicians literally lose votes or gain votes. Not all of them, obviously, because the personality, the type of person he is, which community is he from, all that matters. So the reason why they lose votes is the representation. If you are looking like a shit, you're not looking nice. Now some people are ugly by the face. I understand that. But if you're not looking nice, the people will think that if he has a bad representation here, how will he represent our country on a meeting with the different countries on the leaderboard? So you need to start with these basics. It is that important. Start with the foundation, and then next could be money making, basically career or business. You need to start thinking about that and start taking responsibility for yourself. This is how you need to be advancing. Next could be which woman to marry, then children. This is a progressive overload. So I hope this video helps, and if it did, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel.